Keep them. I won't wave this time. That scared them off.
Just a few more minutes. Well, one more minute. We're very excited.
And they do have a link for the recipe.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
so the recipe is in the description of this video, but I will also be happy to send it out to you guys after the fact. If you just shoot me an email, I'd be happy to send it to you. And it's k.walker@phgainc.org. So I guess we will get started. I'm Kate. I'm the Director of Activities for Independent Living, and
I'm Nathan Doak. I'm the Executive Chef.
And so today we are going to be showing you how to make.
Today we're doing a beef stir fry. It's a basic, simple Chinese recipe for beef stir fry.
Celebration of Chinese New Year.
That's right.
Get ready. I'll let Nathan go ahead and tell you how it's going to go.
Okay, I'm just going to walk you guys through this, and I think hopefully I've met all of you who are joining us so far. I'm trying to get around to meet everybody as they move in, and we're going to be doing these little tutorials, just a quick 30-minute meal, something simple that you can do from home. And like I said, today we're doing a beef stir fry. So first thing we're going to do is go over the ingredients I have here. You'll need just a simple soy sauce, mirin or cooking rice wine, and sesame oil. And all of this stuff you can pick up from your local Kroger or Publix. The beef we're using today I got from Publix, and it's the cut is this is a top round, and I bought it already sliced, and they have a pack of they have packs of this over at your local Publix, already sliced thinly for a stir fry.
That looks good. Yeah,
it does. And I've got some fresh white button mushrooms, some fresh garlic cloves, ginger. I've already peeled these, and I've got green onions and a yellow onion and bok choy. This is a little bit trickier to find. You can find it in Athens, but you can substitute the bok choy for broccoli or carrots or really anything. So this steak, I have already marinated it, and it's a really simple marinade, and it's on the link for the recipe. But you're just going to take a little bit of soy sauce, the rice wine, and the sesame oil, and just mix that with a little bit of cornstarch in a mixing bowl. Just mix it until the cornstarch is dissolved, and then you're just going to pour it over that beef and just mix it around until it's all mixed up. And usually set that aside it recommends 15 minutes. You can set it overnight or for several hours. It just kind of depends on how much of that flavor you want to get into that beef. Okay, so I've already marinated my beef. It's ready to go. So we're just going to chop up these vegetables. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to saute the beef, and then we're going to saute the onions, and then the stalks of the bok choy and the mushrooms, and then we're going to throw the garlic and ginger in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up this onion. I'm just going to give this a nice julienne.
For those of us who don't cook as often, can we explain julienning?
Julienne is a nice thin slice, and we're just going to take the half of onion like this. We're going to cut it right across the arch.
Like a pro.
Okay.
It definitely does not look like that when I cut onions. I'm very impressed.
That's right. You don't have to cut it as good as I do. You cut it however you want at home. I like my cuts to be nice and neat. Okay. And then our bok choy is a little bit trickier because we've got stalks and we've got greens. So I knock the back end of it off. And I'm going to cut the greens off of it. I'm going to cut these on a little bit of a bias.
An angle?
At an angle, okay. Correct.
All right. Just throwing out some other vocab, just in case.
Really, this is just going to give us some greenery and some color in the finished product.
And for health, obviously.
And for health, you got to get your greens in. So in these, obviously the stalks are a little bit chunkier. So what we want to do, we want to get these a little bit longer saute. So I'm going to mix these in with the onions, or I'm sorry, with the mushrooms.
Don't confuse them.
I know, we're messing you guys up. Again, all of this is in the description. So read the description, and I'll try not to mess you up. Like I said, I'm going to cut these on a little bit of an angle so the pieces kind of look, you can kind of see what I'm working with here.
Very helpful.
Okay. All right.
So we've got our bok choy chopped. We've got our onions. I'm working on our mushrooms. This is all very exciting.
Wait till we get going. Now I'm pretty close to cooking time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and come over here. I'm going to turn my heat on. And I'm going to be cooking this in a wok. You can use an ordinary frying pan at home. A wok is going to get you a little bit better heat distribution when you move it around inside the pan. And a stir fry, the basic idea of a stir fry is you're going to stir it as you fry it. So you want to get as much surface space hot as you can so you can move that food around and keep it moving. Okay? Now we're going to cut my mushrooms. We're going to get a nice thin slice on this. Doesn't have to be perfect. But you want them to be a little bit consistent because you want them to cook all about the same length of time.
Can you show us a slice in a minute?
You want to get it, not too thin, but pretty thin.
Mm-hmm. Looks good.
Okay. That. Now we're going to cut our ginger and garlic. And now this, you might want to use a garlic press for your garlic. I'm going to chop mine by hand. I just usually like to crush it with a knife. It makes it a little bit easier and flatter.
Makes sense.
I'm just going to get a nice little mince going here. Now with the ginger can be a little tricky. Oftentimes people will use a grater, which is just fine. I'm gonna just very carefully kind of chop mine up. But again, you don't want to, this is it's small and a little bit tricky to work with. You don't want to hurt yourself while you're doing this.
Good point.
You can definitely use a grater. We won't tell on you. See, I just got a nice little mince there. I'm adding that in with my bok choy. And then I've got my green onions. Now these green onions are going to go in at the very, very last, okay?
So the green onions are more of a garnish and less.
They're a little bit of a garnish. So these, like once these hit the heat, they're going to wilt very quickly. We want them to wilt just a little bit. So this is just going to put this in right as we're finishing.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That's great.
Now, you move this operation over here.
Okay. Forgive me, guys, if this is a little bit wobbly for a second. I don't want to make you dizzy, but I want to make sure you can see what's going on.
All right, so we're moving over to our pan now. Now, I did forget to do something very quickly. I'm going to have to make my sauce, but I'm going to make that once I get this in the pan.
Okay.
So I used up all my bowls. So I think we're probably hot enough in
Do
here.
we need another bowl? I'd be glad to get you one.
No, I can make this work.
All right.
We're gonna turn the fan on here.
Very hot.
A little bit of smoke here.
We're adding in the meat with the smoke.
We are. All right.
All right, there we go. You're just giving it a quick toss.
Like I said, we just kind of want to move this around as quickly as we can.
Just making you guys hungry. It's making me hungry.
Now we're going to move over here and make this sauce real quick. I got that. Okay.
So
We're making the sauce now. It's going to be soy sauce and mirin, the cooking wine, the rice wine.
we're kind of doing a couple tablespoons of each, it looks like.
About 2 tablespoons of the soy sauce and 1 on the mirin and the sugar.
Okay.
Now the recipe will tell you to use a little bit of light soy sauce and a little bit of dark soy sauce. And what I did was I just used one kind of soy sauce. You can buy both, the light and the dark. I just used the one.
So while he's doing that, I'm just going to step in for a second. And I just wanted to ask you guys to please give us your feedback after this video. If you don't mind, you can just send that to me in an email. I'd love to hear what you thought of the show. But I will get back to letting Nathan show you how to make this dish.
And again, we're just stirring and frying right now. What you want to do is you want to take this beef and get some nice caramelization going. And we're going to cook this most of the way through. And this happens pretty quickly. You know, the thinner you slice this, the faster that's going to happen.
It's so good.
Okay. I'm going to need...
Plate to put the beef on?
Yeah, I can take care of it.
I'm anticipating your needs. Got it.
Just point me in the direction of the plate so I'll get some paper towels here. Perfect. Okay.
So once the beef is almost completely cooked, you take it out of the pan and onto a plate for a minute. And once that is finished, are we going to be putting the veggies in next?
Yes, we are.
Okay. And you brought all of the veggies over, so they're right there next to the pan. Adding a little bit more oil to the pan. And then it looks like the onions go in first. You cook the onions until they're translucent, or just for a...
Yeah, you're going to cook these. You know, these are going to get translucent pretty quickly, so these will go in for just a couple of minutes.
Okay.
And then we're going to add the garlic and ginger and the stalks on the bok choy.
Okay. So all that's in one bowl from where we talked
All
about.
that's in one bowl.
Okay. It's a shame you guys don't get to try this once we finish making it. But after COVID, we'll try to think about doing something like this in person where everybody can have a taste test after the fact. That would be fun. All right, adding in the bok choy stalks, garlic, and ginger. And it smells amazing. I wish I could send the smells through the screen, but I can't.
I got to tell you guys how great this feels to be cooking again. We've been doing office work and paperwork for the last couple of months and waiting to get our CO. And even though I'm not on site, we're joining you from off site today. It feels great to be in a kitchen and making food.
Yes. I know I've heard all this talk about Nathan is a great chef, but I haven't gotten to experience his cooking yet. So I'm looking forward to trying it out today. So far, so good, it looks like. And so we just, after another couple minutes, added in the mushrooms and the bok choy greenery from the top of the bok choy. And then the sauce goes in over top, it looks like.
Yeah, we're going to pour this in. This sauce has a lot of acid in it. And what acid's going to do is it's going to deglaze the bottom of this pan.
Oh, wow. I was wondering that I was seeing that the bottom of the pan had gotten sort of a dark brown color. So that
Got a little dark down there. That happens with the sugars. Got a little darker than I would like. When you're doing something like this, you really need a heavy bottom pan. And this is my wok. It doesn't have as heavy a bottom as I would hope.
That looks so good. Next step.
We're still stirring this around. And we are going to add the beef back to it here in just a minute. And that'll be all she wrote.
All she wrote. It's a pretty simple recipe, and we're at 22 minutes right now. I would say by the time, I know you did a couple of little things as prep work, like with the peeling of the garlic and the ginger. So I think you're going to be right at just under 30 minutes, like we had promised. So
one of the things that, when I cook at home, one of the things I like to do is I like to go ahead and get sometimes I'll do the prep work a day ahead of time. I did do that, peel the garlic and the ginger, and that's something you can do ahead of time and marinate the beef. And just throwing this whole thing together took, 25 minutes.
And then recommended things to serve with the stir fry.
I would just serve this over rice, and I would have included that in this demonstration, but I assume everybody knows how to make rice. If you don't, we can do a tutorial on that. You would just serve this over rice, and maybe you can throw some other vegetables with it. This is, like I said, a really simple saute. You can interchange the bok choy for broccoli or carrots. You throw some peas in here, and just really anything you want.
Yeah, I like that it's flexible, that you can kind of choose whatever types of things you'd like to add to it and make it your own.
And you can also interchange this with chicken. You can interchange it with pork. And it would be exactly the same method.
All right. There you have it.
That's it.
Let's take one last little look at it. Sizzling in the pan. Thank you so much, Nathan.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could do this for you guys today, and we'll be back to seeing you again in a couple of weeks.
Looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much for joining. And like I said, I would love some feedback from our video today, so please just shoot me an email. It's kwalker@phgainc.org. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.